Hello, this is Lucas Palmeira from Imaginando, and I'm here to give another tutorial on DRC. Today I'm going to show you how to make some sounds from the song Vogue by Madonna. And we're back to the classics now, and let's get right into it. So we're going to start with some strings that will sound something like this. Okay, I'm going to turn off the DLYM modulator for now and open DRC. Bring back the default patch. Okay, and we start by going to the amplifier and raising the second oscillator to 765. Sub-oscillator to 477. And ring modulator to 633. Okay, now we go to the second oscillator and we fine-tune it to 0.1. Raise one octave on the sub-oscillator. Okay, perfect. Now we go to the filter, and on envelope generator to amount, this is the amount of this envelope generator that controls the cutoff frequency, and we raise it to 545. Okay, now we drop the cutoff to 144. And we raise the resonance to 178. Perfect. Now we go to the modulation page. This modulation page modulates the cutoff filter. And we're going to raise the keyboard to maximum. This means the higher the note, the higher the cutoff. Then we go to the VCA that controls the amplitude, and we raise the velocity to maximum. This means the higher the velocity, the higher the volume of the sound. So let's now go to the first envelope generator that modulates the amplitude of the sound in time and raise the attack to 172. Okay, decay at 500, sustain at 800, attack at 172, release at 399. Now the second envelope generator, the one that modulates cutoff, we're going to start by raising the attack to 130. Decay at 500. Decay at maximum. Sustain at 711. Finally, release at 100. Okay. Lastly, we go to the reverb and we raise the amount to 376. And raise the decay to 741. Okay. Now we go here to the delay modulator. And as you can see, we have 383 on time, very little feedback, very low rate, a bit more than high depth, and 3/4 of dry wet. But it's basically given this warmth and stereo widening of the sound. And this is our sound, so let's go to the next strings now. Okay, turn off the other delay modulator, open DRC, the sound will be like this. Let's go back to the default patch. Oops, sorry. Like this. And again, let's start with the amplifier, master at maximum, pregain at 800, oscillator 1 at 962, second oscillator at maximum, sub-oscillator at 423. Okay, now what we're going to do is go to the second oscillator and detune it to 076. And raise one octave on the sub-oscillator. Okay. Now we go to the modulation page of the pitch. Here you control the pitch of you modulate the pitch of the oscillators. And with the LFO1, which is at a rate of 350, we're going to raise the modulation to 212. Okay, like this. So we have this nice kind of vibrato effect. And let's go to the filter. On envelope generator 2 amount, we have 500, cutoff on the cutoff 922, and on the resonance 400. Okay, perfect. Now we go to the VCA and raise velocity to maximum. This means the higher velocity, the higher the volume. And now on the first envelope generator that controls the amplitude, raise the attack to 286. Decay at 500, sustain at 800, and release we raise it to 399. Okay, and now envelope generator 2, the one that modulates the cutoff, decay at 230. Sustain at 400 and release at 100. Finally, we go to the reverb, raise the amount to 393 and the decay to 603. Okay. To end it, we opened our own free delay modulator, and with really little time, very low feedback, 110, small rate of 0.93, and considerable depth, like about 450, and wet really high, you can see the difference. You have this kind of phasing effect on the strings that sounds really nice. And let's go now to the bass. That will sound like this. Okay. Let's bring it back to the default patch. Okay. And start again with the amplifier. So master pre-gain oscillator 1 at 651 and sub-oscillator at maximum. Change the waveform of the first oscillator to a sine wave. The sub-oscillator raise 1 octave and change it to a sine wave as well. Now go to the performance mode and change from poly to mono. Okay, and let's go to the filter. Filter envelope generator 2 amount at 500. Drop the cutoff to 108. Okay, like this. And let's go to the first envelope generator. This one modulates the amplitude and bring it to 0.10. Decay at 500, sustain at 800, release at 250. On the second one that modulates the cutoff, decay at 399. Sustain at 382. And release at 387. And we have our bass now. Let's go to the keys and final sound. These keys will sound like this. Okay. I'm going to turn off this for now, the auto pen and the equalizer, and let's bring it back to default patch. Okay. And start again with the amplifier. Drop the pre-gain to 600. Okay. Oscillator 1 to 537. Oscillator 2 at oscillator 1 547, and then we raise the sub oscillator to 579. Raise sub oscillator 1 octave. Okay. Like this. And now we go to the modulation page of the pitch as well and raise it to 190. Okay, like this. Now let's go to the filter, envelope generator 2 amount, drop it to 473. Cutoff we change the filter to a low pass 4-pole to a band pass 2-pole. Drop the cutoff to 166. And raise the resonance to 492. Okay. Now we go to the VCA and raise the velocity to maximum. This means the higher the velocity, the higher the volume of the sound. And now let's go to the first envelope generator that modulates the amount, the amplitude, and raise the attack to 0.22, decay to 214. Okay. And sustain release at 0. On the second envelope generator that modulates the the cutoff, decay at 141. Sustain at 675. And release at 771. Okay. And finally, we go to the chorus here, turn it on, drop the rate to 160, and the depth to 154. Okay, like this. And now we can turn this auto pan, which is basically on 3/4 of a bar going from left to right, and this equalizer that is boosting a little bit of the high frequencies and cutting the lows. And I think this is it, guys. So I'm gonna get this ready for us to listen. So bear with me just a second, please. Okay, sorry about that. I think everything is ready for us to listen, so let us listen. And this was it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Remember that we have this Ableton session with all the MIDI and everything for you to check out and look for yourself on the description below for you to download. We will have new content every week. If you like it, give us a like or subscribe. So goodbye and see you next week.